New on 2, a 12-part exploration of the adventure of flight, reaching for the skies.
I have to admit that there are times during flight I look out at the wings when we're just cruising along, and I really do wonder what keeps it up there.
A Picture of Health begins the story of the nation's health before the NHS.
Much surgery was done on the kitchen table. It was not uncommon even to take the appendix out on the kitchen table.
The natural world presents more stunning spectacles, from Africa's Rift Valley to the Canadian Arctic. And the brain is explored in the Mind Machine.
We've learnt to organise ourselves by clocks of our own making. But we can't escape the beat of our brains and the rhythms that tie us to the restless earth.
It's all new on 2.
On BBC One now, there's the 9 o'clock news with Michael Burke and Andrew Harvey. Here on 2, in half an hour, as a tribute to the late Sir Frederick Ashton, we're showing again the great British choreographer rehearsing Antoinette Sibley and Anthony Dowell in the famous pas de deux from his ballet, The Dream. Now, the return of the comedy series set in space on the mining ship Red Dwarf.
New on 2, A Picture of Health. A 3-part look at the nation's health begins before the NHS.
There was no fixed fee. You got to pay. So you say, well, I haven't got no money. What are you going to do to me? So you say, I'll give you £5. You know, the lady I may say, that's all you could afford, £5. OK, you know, that was the fee. But if you was well off, you paid more, you know. It was according to what you was.
For a child to have a tooth out at the dentist would be £1. And for a man, it would be 2 and 6 with no anaesthetic. So there was an old cobbler, and Sunday morning he used to pull teeth out.
I think people went to work very ill at times because they couldn't afford to stay home.
Can you afford the doctor? Part 1 of A Picture of Health, Thursday at 9:30 on 2.
The 9 o'clock news is just starting on BBC One, while here on 2, news from home finally catches up with those occupants of Red Dwarf.
Struggle to get the shuttle back into space.
After Challenger, this crew insists on being consulted more closely than ever before on every design change.
Great.
NASA uses the enforced delay not only to examine the suspect items, but also those parts that were assumed to be sound and healthy. The entire system is gone over item by critical item. June the 21st. Discovery has shed its scaffolding and rolls over to the vehicle assembly building. It's tilted up, mated to its jumbo external fuel tank and to its solid rockets. It's a stack now, waiting for men to ride it.
The Diary of Discovery, tomorrow at 8:30 on 2.
And this is how Diary of Discovery fits into the changed shape of BBC Two tomorrow evening. Def 2 moves forward by half an hour, starting with Mission Impossible at 5:30. Animation Now is at 6:20, and then at 6:40 the guest undergoing inquisition is Mr. Fix-It himself, Jimmy Savile. A roundup of the SLD conference is at 7:15, and then at 20 to 8 the first in a new series of Bookmark focuses on Australia's foremost Aboriginal writer Jack Davis. Diary of Discovery is at 8:30, which means that our screenplay Starling, a sort of latter-day Pygmalion about a con man, is at 9:30. And rounding off the evening at 5 to 11, we've News Night. There's the 9 o'clock news over on BBC One now. Well, here on 2, a few galactic guffaws with, who else but the Red Dwarf. On BBC One now, the knives are out as the sinister Quillan Gaunt finds means with which to destroy once and for all Ian Dunross in the second part of James Clavell's oriental thriller Noble House. Here on 2 in a moment, the Mind Machine investigates memory.
Hello, this week on Open to Question, I'll be meeting the peroxide blonde who's been a DJ longer than I've been alive. Jimmy Savile has been spinning records and raising money for charity for over 25 years. He's now helping to look after Ronnie Cray and Peter Sutcliffe in Broadmoor. We find out why, as Jimmy Savile is open to question.
That's Open to Question, tomorrow at 6:40 on 2. Borderland is our screenplay first in 50 minutes, a drama written and directed by Jean Stewart as her graduation work for the National Film and Television School. Set in contemporary South Africa, it revolves around an outspoken white journalist who questions the validity of her opinions. Now on BBC Two, we examine how different kinds of memory are stored in the brain and meet some people for whom the ability to remember has become a memory itself. The Mind Machine.